Hi everyone, hope you're all well. So, I just wanted to talk about this video I saw. It was actually on Hamza's channel. It was about his best mate who'd been cucked by his partner. She went off with another man behind his back and had a kid, thinking it was his kid, but it was actually this other guy's kid. So then he's, like for a while thinking it's his, and then turns out it's not. So he could have just been like completely oblivious as this child was growing up, and to then find out that it's not his. It's a good job it happened when it did. I mean, this guy's apparently like going through some, some help right now because it's really messed up his mental health. But this woman just doesn't care. She never cared about him, apparently. She was just an absolutely horrible person. But for some reason, this guy fell in love with her, even though she's horrible. And let's face it, she's not even attractive from what I've seen of her. I don't know what the hell he saw in her whatsoever. And apparently, like, everyone was saying to him, you can do better than her. Why are you with this woman? She's horrible. Yeah, it's just, I just don't get why you would want to be with someone like that. But he had to learn the hard way, I guess. And unfortunately, it meant that he believed that a child was his, and then turns out that it wasn't his child, which was just absolutely devastated him. So, some are saying that there should be a mandatory paternity test. And this would really like piss a lot of women off because they want to be able to do certain things and get away with it. Because what some of them will do is then, like, if you was to like bring up the idea of a paternity test to them, they'd be like, "Oh, you don't trust me, do you?" So they'll try to like use emotional manipulation to try and get you to just kind of not do that. So by having it mandatory, it would then mean that it's not that you don't trust that. I mean, it's like it's mandatory to do it. So then it's a way of making sure then that, because then they can't use that excuse of, oh, you don't trust me, oh, if you really trusted me and you really loved me, you wouldn't be asking me to do this. So yeah, they can't do that then. So I think it's good if they would do that, because maybe we'd see less of this happening. Let me know what you all think. But it's an absolute just, yeah, it's just absolutely disgusting. But he should have listened to his friends. But this is what happens when you don't listen to your friends. Stuff like this happens. So a lot of people, men and women, they get into the wrong situation, and they don't listen. They don't even sometimes listen to their own family. Sometimes their family will be like, I'm not sure about this person. I would, if I were you, I would stay clear of them. But they just, because that love blinds them, they sort of don't see all the red flags. Or if they do see red flags, they try to justify it. But this sort of thing was kind of bound to happen with this kind of woman. It was just, she obviously didn't respect the man. I mean, she was just kind of like, maybe she just saw him as like weak in some ways. I don't know. I mean, some guys, they can be like charismatic and confident and all that. Apparently this guy was confident and all that. But then some women have their way of just like destroying that and turning you into a simp, just complete cuck. So you have to be very, very careful of who you're dealing with. Like you need to stay in that, masculine frame as a man. You need to make sure that you don't let yourself become anybody's bitch. You stay, kind of like true to you. You don't let anyone influence you. You are, you just need to know your worth. Don't let anyone knock it down. And also, like I said, just this, love blinds you, but you have to try to still be able to think with your head, and that should be what makes the final decision. So it's about, you should probably do more thinking about things, every so often you should take some time to really kind of assess the situation, think, is this right for me? And just kind of really think hardly about it. Just try to, cut out the distractions and really think to yourself, is what I'm going through my life really worth it? Does this person really respect me? Do they actually love me? Because if not, then why do I give them that in return? Why am I giving that when they don't even give it me in return? I'm wasting my energy on this person, and it's going to end up bad. They're probably going to do something horrible because they've already shown signs that they don't respect you. So some might say, well, it's not a surprise that happened, and he should have known better. And it's, you could say that, but it's still horrible what happened to him. He's seemingly a good person. He's not a nasty person or anything like that. I don't think he would do something like that. And he's just been completely destroyed by this woman. And it's going to take him time to rebuild. And I think there should be prison for these kind of people. But she's been spared prison. So it's not giving him and his family any justice. And I agree with that, with Hamza, it's like these type of people, these, doing the paternity fraud thing, they should be on a sex register because they are complete degenerates who should be shamed, and they should be exposed for who they are, and that anyone who deals with them in that way should know who they are. That they are an absolute disgusting, vile person who doesn't deserve to be with anybody, who deserves to be lonely. So, people have a right to know what they're dealing with. And men have a right to know who the real father is. It's not fair. And apparently this happens a lot more than you might think. It's really, really messed up. Now, I don't know if that figure is correct, on the ChatGPT thing. I saw this thing about, in Botswana and countries like that where it's like the majority, I think it's 70% were illegitimately the fathers. So, I mean, I don't know if that might skew the numbers or something. I don't know what it would be in the West, but even if it was say like 1%, that is still that's still a lot of illegitimate fathers. That is still that would still be a lot. So I'm trying to like play devil's advocate here a little bit and say maybe it's not as bad in the West, but still, this is not some like isolated incident. So you just have to be very careful who you're dealing with. It's just sad, really, isn't it? That there's people like this out there. But yeah, they're just vile. But nothing really bad happens to these people hardly. I think they got some minor thing like, was it community service or some fine or whatever. It's like, I think there should be more punishment than that. They should be put in prison, I think. I mean, it's just gross. But this is the thing. Like you have to, as a man, be able to just say to yourself, I'm worth more than all of this. I will not accept a woman who is disrespecting me. So, yeah. There's a lot of guys out there being cooked all the time in different ways. Being used for their resources, their money, their attention, with not getting much in return. A lot of men are just being gaslit to thinking that they're less valuable than what they are. And then you've got a lot of women thinking they're better than what they are. I don't know what this woman thinks of herself, but she doesn't look like she's anywhere near good enough to have this guy. Like, she looks like, yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to say it, like, she just, but, yeah, she's ugly. She's ugly on the inside and on the outside. Is all I'm going to say. I don't like to call people ugly. I think most of us are like, we're beautiful in our own way. But she's just an absolute, just disgusting. And that's what I think. But I think that having a mandatory paternity test is fair. It gives transparency. Anyone that doesn't want to give transparency is obviously hiding something. When people seem to be like secretive about things, then that's a red flag. Like, for example, if a woman has a guy friend that she's talking to all the time, but yet you never see him, then that is a red flag. And, and you ask her about it and she's like, oh, why are you so insecure or something like that. If she's trying to be all kind of like, trying to avoid the whole like answering it, then it's obviously because she's hiding something. And this could happen with guys as well if, they're seeing some other woman on the side and they don't tell their woman. Yeah, it's just, it's not right. So yeah, the cheating was bad enough, and she didn't deserve to be with him just for that. But to then fake having a kid with him when it was somebody else's, that's a whole nother level. So, yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Should there be a mandatory paternity test? Yeah, chat in the comments about it. If you don't think there should be, why? Why shouldn't there be a mandatory paternity test? Because I don't see anything wrong with that. You could go on about freedom and blah blah blah. But if a man's going to invest time into a child that thinks is his and it's not, he has a right to know that. Yeah, it's just, yeah, because most guys would be like, no, I'm not going to raise a child that isn't mine. If she's going to go sleep with some other guy, it's not his problem. She's then going to have to probably raise that kid on her own, or she's going to have to find somebody else to help out with that. That's not his problem. It's not his child. So he has no responsibility to do that. So yeah, anyway, take care everybody. I'll see you all on my live about 7 p.m. UK time. Peace out. Bye.